Alright guys, welcome back. So SoundHound today, Black Friday, $9.30. That's where we closed. Pretty impressive move. Not basically $3.4 billion market capitalization for the stock. And if we take a look at it back from this year so far, well, year to date stock is 339%. And if you take a look at the closing prices back from this move initially when it popped from $2 all the way to $10, and I pointed out the option shenanigans back here with the $5 price target, and it did hover around this level for quite some time. And last time I talked about this one right here as well, very options driven stock. And today, well, despite the day being very short and also being half a day, Black Friday, holiday weekend, volume was pretty impressive, okay? Compared to first three trading sessions of the week, this week was pretty crazy. So let's take a look at the short float, let's take a look at the option activity, and let's take a look at the price levels to watch from here. So right from here, well, let's take a look at the price action. So $10 is your resistance at this point, and above that level, well, I think I gave a level back there when I was talking about this name. Can it push towards $15, $18 levels? Because highest print 18, and a lot of people have an argument of saying, oh, Nvidia owns this stock. No, I mean, Nvidia owns maybe less than 1% of the stock. Okay, so it's very insignificant. But price action, that's what matters. Was there any news in the morning? I did not see anything that was standing out for the day. It was pretty options driven, okay? So those are the price levels I would be watching. But let's dive into the option activity. 200,000 calls were traded, 59,000 puts were traded. If you take a look at the deltas that are being traded, just like I expected, very, very bullish action. If you take a look at the deltas across the board, a lot of people trading closer to the money or in the money calls, and puts that were traded, they are outside of the money, which means those were sold. And let's just dive into filter out what are those people doing, what people were betting on in terms of the option activity. So this is the today's print only, and options basically filtered out by the largest size that came in today. So there's a call December 20th, 750. There's an April call, $12 call. There's also puts that are trading for January, which is 1 year out. Pretty large out, $5.50 put. I'm not going to be paying attention to the November 29th because these expired. Of course, they are in the money. $8.50 calls, $8 calls, $9.50 calls. I'm seeing January $8 call, December 20th $8 call. Pretty large orders, and there are of course some puts. A lot of them November calls, November 29th, which expired, of course. December next week, I'm seeing $10 calls, a little bit of a action, not a whole lot. But you can see that these calls, I mean, there's not much that is standing out. But let's take a look at just by looking at the option chain. I'm going to be very quick with this one. So seems like there's a lot of people sitting on January $8 call, 36,000 open interest, $5.50, 31,000 open interest. So there's a lot of call activity. And of course, there's 29,000 put open interest for the $8 for the December. But what about the next week? Ultra short term, ultra short week. There's not much happening in terms of the puts. It's pretty spread out from $7 all the way to $9.50, 2000s. But the $10 strike price for next week, which traded pretty high. And we have to check it next week in order to see how many of those people just flipped and how many are still holding for that contract. Just by pulling the chart, I can take a look at the price action for those strikes. You can see this is the $10 strike price for next week, and this is the chart of that contract. if I switch to basically 10-minute chart, you will see where most of the volume started coming in. Most of the volume started coming in as it started pushing higher. So, and they could have already monetized it, but we have to take a look at it on Tuesday. But decently bullish. I don't want to say that people are anticipating some sort of a news and they're just betting that the stock could go crazy. But I'll take a look at the option, basically put to call, not to put to call ratio. I'm going to take a look at the short volume very first. In terms of the volume, there were people, some 27th, 28th, a lot of people kind of like came in, shorted it a little bit higher, but today's short volume was pretty low because I think those people got squeezed. But what about short interest? That's what matters. That's what I'm interested in. And you can see short interest as of November 15th, it was 25%. That is pretty high. I want to take a look at on Finviz as well. So it could be just purely people with a who are trading premium, trying to squeeze all these people who were basically shorting naked. 27% according to Finviz. Float, share float. This just has pretty high share float. Okay, so don't expect this name to go crazy, but definitely can go. But let's take a look at insiders. Are there any insider sales very recently? 25th. Yeah, there were some people, insiders, directors selling, but I'm not seeing anything for the day, for today, any filings, but we'll see it next week. But you got to watch that $10 basically level. If small caps in general start pushing higher, this name closed at a very impressive level. It didn't give up most of the gains, 18%, pretty good and out of the range. But what's the target? Well, I would be watching 10 first, and then from there, my first level of resistance would be somewhere at $14, $15 range. Can it push towards $20? Can it double? Absolutely. What's the probability of that happening, let's say, by the end of the year? Let's take a look at January 3rd. What's the probability of this stock by January 3rd trading? Well, we don't have that strike, but we'll take a look at 10%. Probability of the stock trading above 10. What about January? So if we take a look at January 17th, which is give or take 2 months, 5% probability of the stock, basically according to option market, trading above $20 or that strike price going in the money. But $10 put, pretty attractive for January to me personally, but I'll be keeping an eye on that one. There's 24,000 open interest and 6,000 contracts traded today, and it's only going for $1 and $1.17. But this stock does not have a high delta. It has only, average true range. It has only 77 cents, which means this is how much it can go up and down. But 339% year-to-date gain, that's already a lot, but we'll see what happens. I'm watching this name for basically maybe test 10, pull back a little bit, and then sort of form this cup and handle and break out. So, but I'm bullish this stock. Doesn't look bearish here unless option activity change, but that's the video for SOUNDHound stock. Take care. Peace.